a good song, then you probably have what is called musical taste. If you're a music lover like myself, then you probably take pride in the music you enjoy listening to. I have a strong interest in what we define as musical taste, and it turns out that musical taste says a lot more about who we are than what many might think. Researchers, psychologists, and scientists have all recently asserted or suggested that musical taste is just a reflection of who we are, who and what surrounds us, and how we develop over time. It is not something that we are born with or something that we inherit. So is the music we like an indicator of having good or bad taste? Well, not necessarily. So there's some people that just like listening to the top 40 hits that come on the radio. And there's also some people that just like listening to the classic rock bands their parents listened to when they were teenagers. But these preferences are not something that indicates what is musical sophistication. Enjoying certain styles of songs does not reflect our ability to analyze the depth of what we listen to when we listen to a piece of music. Although I will be interchangeably using the terms musical taste and musical preference, I will not be referring to what is good or bad taste, but simply referring to whether or not we get enjoyment from what we listen to. So this is because the idea that there is good or bad music is a social construct. We consume and preserve what can easily be determined to be bad music, even though the majority of us agree that it is good. Christopher Washburn, in his book, The Music We Love to Hate, defines bad music as something that is unwanted, played in the wrong context at the wrong times, rather than it just being something that is just bad because of its quality or the style it's played. So why are we defensive over the music we like? There's a lot of research out there that says that psychology asserts that the preferences of music we have is strongly related to our personality types. A research group from Stanford University presented a survey to 9,000 people and tried to determine their personalities and their links to musical preferences. It segregated 5 different personality types. There's neuroticism, which is a personality type that reflects irritability or moodiness. There's openness, which reflects curiosity and creativity. There's extroversion, which is to be outgoing, like to be likable. There's agreeableness, which is kind and sensitiveness. And then there's conscientiousness, which has to do with our organizability and dependability. So what they did is they found that people who tended to like music that was more complex tended to have more open personalities. And people that liked music that was more upbeat and had positive emotions tended to be extroverts. Whereas people who liked sad music or music that had negative emotions tended to be pretty much neurotic people. Additionally, there are studies that suggest that our musical preferences towards genres or styles of music is another indicator of our personalities. Adrian North performed the largest study on the links between musical taste and personality. He surveyed over 36,000 people over 60 different countries and found an interesting connection between people who like metal and people who like classical music. So the people who liked metal the difference between the people who like metal and people who like classical was just simply the age. However, the thing that they shared in similarity in personality was the fact that they were both highly creative, very gentle, and actually very agreeable types of people. So it is apparent that we define our musical identity through the way we dress, the slang we use, and the people we associate ourselves with. This devotion to our musical taste is statistically peaks when we are adolescents. A study done at the University of Cambridge surveyed teenagers to determine how taste shifts between ages. It found that music is important to us as we get older, but music we enjoy adapts to life changes we have at different stages in our lives. This suggests the reasons why we hold music so close to us when we are adolescents. Dr. Jason Renfro, the senior researcher of this study, claimed that teenage years are often the years where you try to find yourself as a person and establish an identity. And music is an effective, easy, cheap way to do so. Because our tendency towards involving social cues and scenes around ourselves shows that our community and environment is a strong relation, plays a strong factor into our musical tastes. So in the past, some researchers have tried to claim that our biology, or what we inherit, determines what we like in our musical tastes. But recent research shows that this is not true. A team of researchers went out to an Amazonian camp, or a tribe, called the Chimabe. And the Chimabe are have very little connection with the outer world, meaning they really just don't understand what music is. So what they did was they got people from the Chimabe and they played certain sounds to them. Now these sounds are combinations of notes that are consonant and dissonant. I'm now going to explain to you what this means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a group of notes that are consonant, and then I'm going to play a group of notes that are dissonant. And what I want you to do is try to determine which one sounds better to you, which one is pleasing, which one isn't pleasing. So this is what the consonant group sounds like. And this is the dissonant. So show of hands, which one of you guys prefer the consonants? So that's everyone here. Now there's a strong reason for that. You see, Western culture has developed into the sense that we make music in our Western culture dependent on whether or not we use consonant notes. So pretty much most of the notes we use is consonant. But the Chimabe, actually, in the Chimabe, they played these consonant and dissonant examples. But they found that they liked both styles. They liked the consonant and they liked the dissonant because they didn't really know which one was better, because they didn't know what music really was. It was more of something new to them. So this really shows that the cultural development of how we listen to music really affects our taste. It's not something that is biological, or something that is dependent on race, or something that we get inherited from our parents. So our ability to enjoy music has been around and unique to humans for as long as we've existed. Music gives us empowerment and helps us identify ourselves with our emotions. Taste is just a reflection of our personality, culture, and our experiences over time. So next time any of you try to listen to a song and you just don't like it, or maybe you just really like it, try to think of the experiences or emotions that someone, or maybe yourself, would have to go through to enjoy it or to dislike it.